Hey the YouTube, is your boy Lipid out here with another reaction video. Today we got something special. Some bad code just broke 1 billion Windows machines by Fireship. Let's get right into it, shall we? Hit it.
Today, you should probably just go back to sleep because your Windows work computer will likely have a blue screen of death. Today, millions, if not billions, of Windows computers got insta-bricked around the world thanks to an update pushed by enterprise cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike. And it's bad. Airports are shutting down, hospitals are unable to treat patients, banks aren't able to get your money.
It's actually funny because I think there were certain pictures floating around on X or Twitter yesterday where it was like there were Indigo flights that were flying without printing boarding passes, so they had to write the boarding pass number by hand, a handwritten boarding pass, and they got on the plane basically. So that was hilarious. That was jokes.
The Arby's drive-through.
Even the Dubai International Airport also had a couple of issues, but generally speaking, I think it's an enterprise level software issue. I think it's cybersecurity software, and then whatever the update patch they committed to kind of nuked most systems. I don't think whatever they did was not fixable from a remote update anymore. So they actually had to have technicians on site. So that is wild.
Window went down, forcing people to hunt stray cats in the street just for food. What's hilarious, though, is that a top cybersecurity firm just messed up the global economy in a way that the evil hackers they protect you from could only dream of. In today's video, we'll take a look at the technical side of this disaster and find out how such a catastrophic mistake like this can even happen in the modern world. It is July 19th, 2024, and you're watching The Code Report. Corporate America is in panic mode right now because everybody's work computers are bricked, and that means the hamsters can't keep spinning the wheels. A huge number of Fortune 500 companies use CrowdStrike for cybersecurity. It's got over 500 clients on the Fortune 1000 list. Its primary product is called Falcon, a tool that provides endpoint protection using artificial intelligence and analytics to detect threats in real time. It is publicly traded, and its stock is down right now. And
that's actually very fascinating. I never truly understood what the company actually did when they said, because almost anything today, anything that has to do with tech, almost has AI slapped onto it to just basically make it look, oh, it has AI in it. Oh my God, we're getting money. Like that. It kind of feels like a stupid kind of point to add. I don't really know how much of this is actually valuable when it comes into that. But as I understood, when did antivirus software and general purpose cybersecurity software not become enough? Why do you want real time updating system software like this? I mean, I get it. It'll reduce your cost in your IT department because I suppose the company could just put software updates out. Systems automatically update and you don't have to worry about it. I mean, that only works provided there's some form of quality check that CrowdStrike has to do from their end to make sure that those updates they send out don't just randomly brick and crash computers. So clearly that did not happen. But yeah, I think for us in our organization, I think it was just we had antivirus softwares. We don't really use CrowdStrike, so we had no issues. But I've seen some bigger companies that got tanked because of this. And the worst part is the solution for this also came up on Reddit and a couple of other sites soon after, basically with Microsoft confirming it wasn't a Microsoft issue, it was a CrowdStrike issue. So apparently you had to boot into safe mode and then delete a certain configuration file or a certain update file, and then either you revert back the update back to an older version of CrowdStrike and everything would be fine, or I think it was a very decently simple fix. The only problem is you needed to have access to the computer, which in certain situations I think is impossible. You kind of have to be operating things remotely. That would cause havoc on those people. So yeah, this when this happened yesterday, the amount of tweets and messages that were just popping up because very random industries had use of this kind of software, really generally random. Healthcare insurers, insurers of one, flights, some banks even. So this was a truly global hit. This felt like what Y2K should have felt like. I think that was the best consensus, the best tweet I was hearing out, and I was like, yeah, this is what people were scared of when it would have happened.
Stonk is down right now, and for good reason, because everybody's blaming them for causing Windows to deliver its blue screen of death. Luckily, Mac OS users and Linux chads are unaffected. Mac OS and Linux did not give a flying fuck. Because you understand why.
Apparently it must have been a configuration issue from, I think, Microsoft's virtual end, I think from Azure's side, their server side. So some issue was happening, some conflict somewhere was causing an issue.
We first need to understand how CrowdStrike's Falcon sensor actually works. It's installed just like regular software, but integrates with the operating system at a low level, often using kernel mode drivers, and basically just sits there in the background looking for anomalies. It collects telemetry data, produces reports, and offers a bunch of other incomprehensible techno-nonsense products to justify multi-million-dollar enterprise contracts.
I'm sorry for pausing, but that is fascinating. It's in a way that's very similar to anti-cheat. Very similar, because it's like anti-cheat also usually, like most anti-cheats, like especially like, the ones you use on like Valorant, for example, they run very kernel level, and it usually just reads for like memory integrity. The moment there is something that it detects as like changing memory data, while it's looking at that data set, it's like, wait a minute, something's not right here. And then force closes the application, like your game, or bans you, or does something like that. But I guess this antivirus or this cybersecurity software does the same thing. It kind of using AI to pattern recognize things that some malware would do, and then see if it sees similar patterns or just freezes it or stops it. So I guess there is certain value to this over having regular antivirus. I get it, but that much? Really?
The bottom line is that it's third-party software that sits in the critical path of a computer.
Basically, one screw up in kernel level, your computer no boot up anymore. BSOD every day. Yes.
Means if it fails, the entire computer might fail. And that's exactly what happened here. Apparently, an automated software update last night had some bad code in it, and every computer that got that update is now dead. Now, part of the reason this is really bad,
oh my god, is this bad?
Is that it's not just a regular outage, but every affected computer needs to be rebooted in fail mode, so the driver can be removed manually. Yeah. And most employees don't have access to do that on their own.
Yeah,
and
this is actually also something that I did realize. A lot of like enterprise systems use like, remote server setups of Windows, meaning you can virtualize Windows in a remote server and then just set this thing up. So if they have problems on like a lot of the machines, and since it's installed like typical for a lot of machines at the same time, like hundreds of thousands, so if they need to update that system, that Friday would have been hell for every IT engineer in every major tech company. Like they were making their pay money, like they were earning their salary in those days for sure.
And that means IT guys are going to be really busy today. It's the IT guy equivalent of being a surgeon in World War I. And the consequences are real. The London Stock Exchange was disrupted. Most Indian airports went down, causing them to write boarding passes by hand, along with a ton of other issues. To CrowdStrike's credit, they were quick to point out that it's not a security incident or cyber attack, and explained it this way.
Yeah, listen.
We fucked up?
We up.
But they were quick to fix it, and the fix is really easy. All you have to do is detach the operating system disk, create a snapshot or backup of the disk, mount a volume to a new virtual server, navigate to the WinDir drivers directory, locate the file C0000291.sys and delete it, detach the volume from the new virtual server, then reattach the fixed volume to the impacted virtual server. Piece of cake, but option 2 is to go to Home Depot and buy a sledgehammer, then use it to uninstall Microsoft Windows and switch to Linux. I do feel really bad for the programmer who updated this driver though, because the tech lead's about to run git blame and blame them for this whole 100%. Mess. Not only is this person about to get fired, but they also have blood on their hands for shutting down the hospitals, transportation networks, and Arby's family restaurants.
Just for context, if I'm not wrong, the effect of this is what, a couple $2 billion at least? Yikes.
We need to survive. If you're that guy and you're watching this, don't feel too bad though. What we have here is a situation where the cure is more harmful than the disease. Public megacorporations are under a ton of pressure to secure their computer systems, and they're constantly audited by third parties. A company like Macy's isn't going to go out and hire a team of 100 cybersecurity weirdos. Instead, they'll pay a company like CrowdStrike a few $1 million a year to figure out cybersecurity for them, giving them someone else to blame when their system gets hacked. What everyone failed to realize though is that giving one company kernel access to the computers of most Fortune 500 companies might actually be a bad idea, because it only takes one automatic update with a misplaced 0 to nearly destroy the entire world.
I think, and that is the truth of the matter is, let's be real, I don't think most like major like mega corporations really have people sitting down and thinking, oh my god, what is the possible consequence of me giving millions of dollars to this one company to take blame in the very rare circumstance that they actually fuck up or we have a cybersecurity attack. Which is the only reason they give, they even like would consider a company to give money to. Like, let's be real, cybersecurity is a serious thing. I get it. But at what point, and I stand corrected, at what point do you think just not, just installing one antivirus software maybe, or like a varying degree of antivirus software on certain systems, and then just letting it run? Wouldn't that kind of solve your problem? But no, I think for enterprise deployment, they just want like, yeah, we just want like this one licensing thing, and then this affects all systems, and we can push an update to affect all systems at the same time. I get it. It gives you more control over the systems, but at the cost of like, fuck ups like this. So yeah, after the cost of a couple $1 billion, which is well beyond the worth of a couple $1 million to a company like this, yeah, that happened. So yeah, newsflash, and we'll come back with our daily programming next week. Catch you, beautiful bastards, in the next one. Peace. Take care. Noise.